Cut it out, Bo. Go downstairs. Go. I'll be down in a minute.
You know how it is, like starting up. It's hard as shit.
Whether they're good, bad, or ugly, getting the message out there that people aren't just like these superstars or shitbags. Like, there's a point behind everybody, what they're doing. I'm a fucking moron. Mike.
All right, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the show. With you as always, me, Ben. Today, I'm joined by Kay, right? People may not know Kay, right? She also is the artist known as KAYLZ, right? She also served with me in her time in the military, and she's here today to tell us a little bit about her. So, Kay, thank you for joining us today.
Hi, guys. Do I go ahead and speak about me?
Of course.
Okay, cool. So, hi, guys. I'm KLZ. Served in the military for 11 years. I did some time on the trail here with Ben. And now here I'm at the podcast with him. Just got out recently, and he invited me here. So here we are to talk and shoot the shit.
That's right. We're going to hear a lot about her. You guys can hear her music. I've listened to some of your stuff. It's very good. It gets you going, gets the people going. And she not only is that, right? I've seen her work ethic, and it speaks for itself, right? It's very powerful without people say quiet professional a lot. That's like what I think of you as. You know, you never really had to speak out on yourself too much. It was always in your work ethic. So I love that about you, but I kind of want to hear the backstory. So we're going to start at the beginning. Tell me where you're from, where you grew up, kind of all that stuff.
So came from New York, obviously. You know, New Yorkers always gonna make it known that they're from New York. Grew up in the Heights, not too far away from like Dykeman and all that, the A train line. Then did my time there growing up with my family. I grew up with my mom. Didn't grow up around my dad. We grew up in a 2-bedroom apartment, living with my grandmother, and it was about junior year of high school. Yeah, junior year of high school that I was like, all right, what am I going to do next? I'm not a person that's been good at school. I never really was that. Like, I'm that type of person. If it's not something I'm studying that interests me, I don't know what I'm going to do next.
Yes.
And I remember seeing a Army commercial and thinking it was the most badass commercial in the whole wide world. And I was like, oh, I want to do that. Well, time came up. I went to a recruiter. They told me I get free schooling, which is true. They told me I'll get all these benefits, X, Y, and Z. And I joined the Army because I didn't know what was next. Like, I had fear. I didn't know what I wanted to do, to be honest. And I needed some kind of stability. And back when I was younger, I was making music. A lot of people don't know that about me. I was 13. I was making music while I was in high school. I would have my buddies come over. I had like a little Toshiba laptop with programs that I bought. And, that's how I made it happen. And it was like a little mic and a pop filter with a sock on it. And that's how I started originally, making little songs and stuff like that. And then joined the military. And that was
quick
2013.
question with two of those things. One, you said you grew up, your mom and your grandma in a 2-bedroom apartment. You know me, I'm from the boondocks, right? So I got all this free space and stuff. Was that confining to you, or was it a little stressful with that? Or
I don't know. You know, like you don't know what you don't know, right? It's
Sure.
like, I feel like as human beings, right? As we expand and we grow throughout our life and we have different experiences, we then realize certain things, right?
Yes.
So back then when I was younger, I don't think it felt confining. I mean, yeah, you wanted your space and all that, but my mom did the best that she could. My family did the best that she could. And so it's me, my mom, and my grandma. My grandma, may she rest in peace. And then right next door, so like New York, it's just, you got the first floor, second floor, and it's all apartments, right? You can hear the other neighbor arguing with the other one. Like, it's just like the barracks.
Yeah.
Mom was there, and then I had my uncle, my cousin, who I call my sister, my aunt there. So everybody, like, I grew up very family oriented, so where I had that entertainment. If I wanted to go next door, I went next door. If I was with my mom, and that was it.
Yeah, that's a good community. At least you had that when you're growing up. That's awesome. And then the last thing, you're talking about making music that young. You found out a way with programs, and then you're doing the whole lives. I did it before. You put the sock on the mic so it muffles it a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, do you think that that shows a sign of drive at a young age, I suppose, with like trying to get after what you truly dream of? Do you think that like got stapled in you with music, or do you think that stapled in you drive to work at what you're working at?
I don't know if it necessarily created some kind of drive. Like, I guess I always had that curiosity. I've always been that person that, like, when I want something, I try to make it happen. Like, I get really creative, right? And
Yeah.
again, I didn't grow up too wealthy, so we would get creative with the things we were going to do. Like, one thing about my family is if people were coming over, we're going to make them fit. Like, everybody's going to fit. And I think that's where I got it from. It's, I guess you can call it drive like that, make it happen type of thing, how I was raised, because no matter what, we figured it out. Um, I think you told me like how you grew up and stuff like that. It's kind of similar, just not the same as like New
Same
York,
with me.
two
Yeah.
different dynamics.
Mhm.
Uh, but yeah, we definitely like had, I guess, that drive growing up. My family definitely has that. And then the military aided to that.
Sure. Let's talk about that. You jump into the army. How old are you when you jump in?
I was 18. I was 18. I remember it was April of 2013. And then I left 3 days after my 19th birthday. I still have that picture here too. Um, and we'll go forward to that because I'm gonna go visit home actually for the first time in 11 years and celebrate my birthday for the first time in 11 years
Dang.
with them. So yeah.
Did you miss home a lot being in? I guess we're kind of jumping ahead, but did you miss home?
No, you're good. Yeah, I mean, I think you do miss home, right? But then you get so used to the monotony of life while you're in that it's just that go mode that I think you just programmed to keep going. I know basic training, it was like, oh, like
Mhm.
you're a young kid, you're 19 years old, and it's like you miss it, you miss your family, you miss home, you miss the food at home, you're eating at the defect, MREs, and you're like, bro, I'm eating out of a bag, I live out of a bag, like what you want me to do, but
Yeah. It's
definitely miss them.
it's hard. It's hard because
Yes.
you had a support system and that's ripped away from you, whether you wanted to or not. It's voluntary typically, but that's people don't realize it until it's gone. So I get that. Where you join, you're 18 and it's active duty. So where do you go first? Where's the first step off from there?
First step was Germany. I was blessed with all the duty stations I had.
Yeah, that's a good one. Was it
Yeah.
which one was it?
It says make sure you have a stable connection on here. I gotta make sure we're good.
Oh, I sure hope so. Let me make
Think I'm good.
Okay. I'm good.
Okay.
Yep,
So
I'm
what
good.
were you asking me again? I'm sorry. Squirrel
You're
brain
good.
over here.
You're good. You go to Germany. Which duty station is it in Germany? Because there's like four different.
So we were at Vilsec first. So it was 2CR. We were at Vilsec, and then we had to stand up the regimental engineer squadron next. So then we all grabbed our stuff. So I was in the RSS, the support squadron, which is usually like kind of where 42 sometimes falling, not all the time, but I don't know, something about me. I always felt in like the support battalions or the support squadrons and whatnot. And then we ended up moving to the engineer squadron, and that was like a whole different dynamic. I would say like I'm so glad my career started that way because there was a lot of things like being by line units and being by combat MOSs that I learned that I don't think I would have learned, had I been somewhere else. So I think my career path, like the universe, like manifested how it needed to go.
Yeah. It always helps. Me, I'm chem, so my first 3 years were in a actual chem line unit. So we got after it pretty hard with training and stuff. I think that's important for everyone in the middle. I wish they did that. I wish they would either put you in a line unit or as close as you can to like the action. Like your whole battalion's just driving after shit. It sucks. It sucks for sure. But you have the energy at that young age to understand everything, and you get rhythms, you get understanding of the lowest level of what's going on. I think that helps a lot. And with the engineers, I'm sure you were busy. I'm sure there was a lot going on. You're out in Germany too, so there's training nonstop.
I
That's
was
good.
just like, I'm in HR. Like, I thought I was doing HR. I'm like, I'm here rucking 10 miles. Like, no way. Why am I up at 2:45? And I didn't have a car when I didn't know how to drive when I joined the army.
Oh my
My
goodness.
NCOs taught me. So it was like, what am I doing? So whenever I had to leave the barracks, it was about maybe like point 0.5 out, 0.25. I can't remember from the top of my head, but like, I had to bring all my gear with me to the company. So I'm just like rucking before the ruck, you know? So
Yeah.
yeah, it was definitely humbling, but it prepared me for the growth that I had later on in Colorado and then becoming a drill sergeant. We'll get to that.
Yeah. Well, how many years did you do in Germany?
Those are two. Those are two.
Just
So
oh, just
2013 and
two.
15.
Okay. And then where do you go from there? Oh, overall, was it a good experience or was it?
Oh my God, Germany was a blast.
Yeah.
Like honestly, especially me being from the city,
Yeah.
and then like I grew up. My family was very strict. I'm the youngest. Like I was raised a certain way. I was never really involved in things I didn't need to be involved in. Like no drugs. Never did any of that. Didn't drink till I joined the military. Like that was just how I grew up. So then going
Yeah.
to Germany, where the drinking age is like 16. I was partying up. I was having a great time. I was on the side of training and I also got to travel around and it's just easier to travel there. What 19-year-old wouldn't have a blast in Germany? It's like you're overseas and that's your
Yeah.
first like level of freedom. So just imagine the blast that I had. But
Where'd you go?
so after that it was Colorado and
Puerto
then
Rican?
I was with the BSB.
Okay. That's a different dynamic a little bit. Not as crazy, but it's a little different. And Colorado, has its own thing. How did that go for you?
Colorado was busy.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize how busy till I got out, but we'll get to that. But Colorado was busy. It was a lot of fun. I made some great relationships. I grew as an NCO even more. I think Colorado was my place of growth. I got there as a specialist and I left as a staff sergeant going onto the trail. So that growth spread, it was just like you can only imagine, but it was a lot of field trainings.
Yes.
I don't know what got hit with me in my career with all these field trainings and all these trainings, but it happened, you know. And I'm glad because life would have just been boring in the military had I not had those experience, even
Yeah.
though some sucked. But
It's an interesting place out there because I was there for a year and
yeah,
I was in a different unit, but I know Fourth ID, like it's so beautiful. There's so many things to do, but those units get after it so damn hard.
hell
It,
yeah.
it's it exhausts you a little bit. Did you get tired of it at a certain point? You're 3 to 4 years in at that point. Are you tired or are you just kind of like along for the ride?
I'm trying to remember my age because I was like
You would have been like 21,
in my
22, right?
mid 20s around there too, and I was single. You
Yeah.
know, so the times that we were grinding hard, the times that we were grinding hard, it was like I was in the barracks, so like I guess it was lonely sometimes when you would go home to the barracks because it is the
Yeah.
barracks. But I had so many good friends while I was in. Like we would be in the field talking about what we were gonna do and like making jokes through the process. So I think the people you're surrounded by throughout your career, they either make it or break it. And luckily I had some good people around me when I was in Colorado and everybody kind of just held their weight, and made their jokes and tried to take care of each other and shared snacks and all that stuff because that's love. You gotta share snacks.
Of
But
course.
yeah, I got tired at sometimes, like it was NTCs, three, like Kali. So we had one that was like two NTCs and then like immediately after in that year, I was in Afghanistan. And that was just like back to back to back to back to back. It was like I remember we were in Afghanistan, and I remember the person I work with. I won't shout out her name. She was like, this place can't see white space because they're just gonna fill it up because we were so tired. Like we were
Yes.
just so done, you know?
Well, and uh, I can speak to that a little bit, I guess, to a degree. Our deployments, I went in 18 and 19. I won't speak on the deployment, right? But I will speak on you go and it's not what you pictured when people talk
Hmm.
about it. It's a
Hmm.
completely different aspect at that point, especially from about 2015 to later. It's way different, and I don't know. You come back and you're tired, but for different reasons. I don't know how to describe. Did you feel that a little bit? Or
Yes. Coming back was weird. It was like I don't know. I feel like you could think about like why are we doing this type of stuff? Like you questioned your why a lot. And
yes,
then you
yes,
also the things that you did stress about while you were on garrison before deploying, you don't. Like it
100.
made me understand when I was that private and I would see like some of the like the guys that actually deployed, and they had because when I was in Germany, they were coming back from a deployment. And I would hear them say, "Oh, this garrison BS. I'm tired of garrison. I'm tired of garrison." And then they understand what they were saying till I came home,
Yeah, yeah,
and then you're dealing with like stuff that that when you go down range, it's like, bro, this is not going to matter.
yeah.
Like
Someone's
this
getting
doesn't
chewed
matter.
out for a dental appointment, and you're like, chill the fuck out. Like it does.
Yeah, like those type
That
of things
work.
will be like,
Yeah,
all
yeah,
right, like, and it sucks because it wasn't just for us. Like, yeah, those first sergeants and like those platoon sergeants, they're coming at us, but it's
I
because it's
know.
coming from the top, from
Yep,
the other top,
yep.
and they're all feeling it. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? Looking back now at it, but
Yeah.
that definitely like that definitely happens. You'd be like, what the heck? Especially once you're in a leadership position too. It's
Hmm.
not only your MEPROs you're worrying about or your problems you're worried about, but now you're like
Everybody under you.
Minion one, minion two, like I need to take care of you. Make sure you go get your dental. Like make sure you shower. Like
Uh, yeah. It's a weird transition. You get
Yeah.
you get done at Fourth ID, which obviously was a bit busy, and
Mhm.
then where did you go?
Fort Leonard Wood.
I
All right.
wanted to, I did this to Sergeant Major Bell the other day. I knew
Yeah.
that's where you went. Just wanted to hear it because I know.
AKA Lost in the Woods.
Yeah. Yes, it's which is interesting, right? Because you're a 42 Alpha, you're a human resources specialist, right? I think that's how you
Mhm.
say it, right? So your home base is in Jackson. You come
Yes.
to Leonardwood to do basic training, right?
Yes. That's
Yes.
when I was doing basic training with 148.
Yeah, tell me about it.
That was the best job. Like honestly, like nobody could I loved being a drill sergeant. Like for real, that was the best job. I think. And a lot of people, they meet me and I don't know if I give that person off. It wasn't like the yelling, because like, dude, by like month
The yelling
six,
you
you're
hate,
over that.
you're just
Yeah.
tired of yelling. Yeah.
Month six, you're over that. It was seeing like the mini you, because you
Yeah.
went through that and you're pushing them. It was seeing like that's what like fulfilled me. It was being able to talk to soldiers and be able to tell them like, I did this wrong. Let me save you some time in your career, to enable you to push farther than I did.
Yes.
Because they're the ones that are going to be replacing you at the end of the day. Um, and just seeing the growth, like you get people from all over the world.
Oh, yeah.
Some that they don't speak English, perfectly, and then you see them at the end and they're like having full blown out sentences. You have some shy kids that you can't get a word out of them. And then like the end, you can't get them to shut up, and
Yes.
that was,
Oh,
I
do
think
you,
that was the most, huh?
I just I'll bring it back at the end. I
Yeah,
remember
yeah. No, no, go
the
ahead.
a core. No, it's a core memory. There was a female. She was reserve. She was an AIT. It was when you were there, and she had a shit ass attitude, and you could tell she wasn't terrible, but she kind of fucked around, and she played the ESL card a lot, and I wasn't having it a lot, so I would pull you in to translate for me. I can't remember her name though.
Who was
She
it?
was from Puerto Rico. Do you remember her? I can't remember her name.
I can't remember either. I can't
Yeah.
remember. But if
Anyway,
she's watching this, you
she,
know who you are.
yes, you know who you are. You were a shitbag. No,
No,
she was.
oh, damn.
No, she was like she just played that card a lot, and I worked with that to help. But I just remember seeing the growth, like you're talking about. From she wasn't perfect by no means at the end because
Yeah.
she got stuck there. And I remember seeing her day after graduation. She was in a wife beater and jeans, smoking cigarettes outside the airport, which
Who
is
the heck was that?
yeah, I can't remember her name, but it was insane. And I just remember her not being as bad at the as in the beginning, which is always like a win. At the very
Yeah,
end, it's like that's little wins that you want is something drilled in a little better. So yeah,
and it does, and they end up growing too. I
mhm.
grew. I was a headache as a private.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, like, whew,
oh
God
yeah.
bless. I still talk to some of my NCOs like from back then, and man, like I hit them up too. Like, yo, my bad. Like I was a pain in the ass, dude. Like, I'm sorry. You know.
How so you did 2 years, on the trail like regular basic, and you loved it and stuff, and then you come over to us. You're with AIT Seaburn, which is a very odd entity for you to jump into. How did that feel ending your time there in that
Ending my time
on the trail?
as on the trail. One, I'm always gonna be like grateful for the fact that I was offered the opportunity to work with Seaburn. Y'all do some cool, and I remember saying this at my speech. Like, I always thought it was just pro mask and make it like, because you got your Seaburn cage. I didn't know that. Like I didn't know I got to like do like mass decom with you guys. I got to get put in a level B. Like it was so much fun that, and the things that I learned, I think what helped me while I was there is that I would introduce myself to the soldiers that I wasn't, a 74 Delta, but I went and did it, the
Yeah.
things that they were learning. And I think one thing with me is that I didn't want to lead soldiers and then not know what I was doing. Like I tried the best that I could to learn those skill level 1 tasks that you guys have to be able to fulfill that. Cause, it's like telling somebody overweight telling you what you need to eat. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to lead by example. And I think honestly, confidently, I tried my best, the best that I could while I was there, learning from people and taking the hazmat test and going through that. So
Yeah.
I will forever be grateful because there was things that I learned with you guys too. A lot of people don't realize like you guys have a lot of combat knowledge too. You have to, and I didn't understand, like, and even on the trail too, I learned from a lot from the infantrymen too. It's like that today, the certain P's and Q's that I have to take, like, you have to be thorough with how you are, especially as a Seaburn soldier too. Um, so like all those checkpoints, those PCCs, PCIs, like, it made me, a more sharpened NCO working with you guys. And then all the good times I had too. Like, there's certain things that, especially, with the place that I ended up going next, it was like I understood certain things, like I knew what tech escort was, like I knew what certain things were. So it was cool. It was a good time. I missed it though. It was like,
Yeah. We all talk about it. We go, we miss the clowns, not the circus necessarily.
yes,
It's
yes,
it's this environment. Sometimes it's shit, sometimes it's really good, but you really grow attached to those around you that like I don't even know, because you obviously levitate. Like obviously you had someone there that I I know you levitate towards, whereas I had the same thing. I levitated towards them and we synced well. But then you
yeah,
have other people that maybe you don't sync as well with, but you can learn one or two things from them, and that helps your career more than you ever pictured there. When you go away,
yes,
that's when it sets in and you go, "Oh yeah, maybe they were doing it right. I just was kind of pissed off in the moment or something."
yep.
Did you have that feeling? Yeah. You get
Um,
done. Yeah.
I definitely did. I think you just learn throughout my whole career. You just even in friendships, right? Even now, right? Um, we have our norms, like our own cultural norms, our own social norms, our own ways of being, right? And then you meet other people, around there, and they're looking at it differently, but their message, the way they're delivering it, may seem hostile at the moment,
Yeah.
which will cause you to get
In your feelings. It gets you
in
in
your
your feelings.
feelings
Hmm.
because it gets you, because they may be just direct with you. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's happened to me. It's happened to you. It's happened to everybody in the army. You're gonna meet different types of leadership styles, and I'm a very direct leadership style. Like I'm very when I'm pissed. You saw me how I was. It was like I'm pissed off. However, I learned, close the door, not lash out at that moment because there's a time and place for everything, right? But yeah, you can definitely learn from that. I think even my time on the trail, like throughout the months, like I would just watch and observe and watch and observe, and there were some things I'd be like, no, I'm never doing that. But then there were some things that I'd be like, oh, they kind of have a point. I think I might try this out next cycle, and go from there. uh with everything, especially from like some of the infantrymen when I was on the trail. Like I'd be like, no, like why are you like, because people don't realize, yes, you might be an infantryman, but then there's POI that we have to follow, and God forbid we don't. God forbid that we don't, right? And then there's me that I'm like, I know certain things, and there's things I've done a certain way, but I can't go ahead and adapt that to that because there's POI, right? So you would see those things, but then you would find ways that not every soldier learns off POI. So you have to use that knowledge as an NCO and teach them like that. So my first cycle, it was you're neutral. You don't want to get caught up, right? So my first cycle, I was like, oh, okay, just observing, watching, and there'd be things I'm like, why are they doing that? Like we're gonna get caught up, or this is gonna be that, or but after a while you start looking at it and it's if you really care about your soldiers, you're gonna take your risk to make sure that they're properly trained at the end of the day. So I think that's where I learned certain things.
Yeah. I last thing on this because I don't want to stay too long on it because I
Nah, you good.
no. Every person I talk to about drill life, it turns into like because you could talk about it for fucking ever. It,
Yeah.
it it was very impactful on everyone's lives, and it's a thing. Um, direct confrontation, which I know me and you have had to deal with there, and then I've had to deal with it outside of there coming here, where um everyone says there's one standard, which is technically true, but it's not true in reality.
Hmm.
People let things crash, like whatever. But more to the point of in general, like whether it's relationships, whether it's family, friends, whatever. I've found that direct confrontation works very well because it crushes it.
Yes.
However, a lot of people hate it. A lot of people hate direct confrontation now.
It's uncomfortable to have somebody call you out.
Yeah, but don't you think that's so weird? Like now you're comfortable with it, and you're more uncomfortable with not. You go, is nobody gonna say anything? Like what? I'm gonna say it, and then you go, and then you kind of get the side eye a little bit of being so blunt about it. But you're not being disrespectful or anything. You're just trying to address an issue that's a problem. Do you
Hmm.
still deal with that a little bit, or have you dealt with that? Or
Um, Definitely after the trail, I did a lot, you know. And it wasn't even like me trying to come in hot after the trail, because like when you are tired after the trail and you did your job, let me tell you, you learn how to disconnect. I mean, for a while, like it took me a while to stop waking up at 2:53 a.m.
yeah,
Eventually, I got used to that. I'm out now, But even here, I got to that point, and sometimes being too bold will make people uncomfortable. You're not doing it the right way, or you're not doing this. And I think you're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. And there's a difference between likership and there's a difference between leadership. And you are not going to be everybody's cup of tea um, in the army or just in life in general. I think a lot of people in the military, they think that leadership, because you're taught leadership in the military. Yes, I was taught some sort of leadership without looking at it while I was a child, but while you're in the military, you get taught leadership full blown, right? People don't realize that once you get out, these are traits that you should have. Um, and you recognize them, and you're just like, man, I would have done this way, or I would have done that way. But not everybody's the same with their leadership styles and their confrontation. I know people who are just quiet and they don't do well with confrontation because it's an uncomfortable situation. It is. It's very uncomfortable. Having somebody call you out. Nobody wants to be told they're fucked up. Bottom of the line up front. Nobody likes to be told they're fucked up because it's an ego hurt, especially when you have rank on your chest. It's like something about that rank on your chest makes you, feel like I'm experienced. I'm this, I'm that. Everybody has felt this, especially when you made sergeant. Can nobody in this world tell me that once they pin stripes, they didn't feel some type of like pride in themselves? And when your pride gets taken down by the fact that you're told, hey, you're fucked up and you're wearing this rank, why do you think at schools they'd be like, hey, Sergeant? And they would just keep on and keep on and keep on. It's because it hurts your pride, and
What would
I
you
think
say
it's
to the
something,
opposite of
huh?
that? Sorry, I would say to the opposite of that, to please devil's advocate,
Yeah.
there is something to um people say networking. I wouldn't say necessarily networking, but having personability or being personable to where you can talk to people. I think there's a balance there of being
Yes.
confrontational, but also not being an asshole every time you speak to someone.
Oh yeah. A
Yeah.
hundred. Like honestly, I feel like somebody that's an asshole to everybody they speak to, it's a complex issue you have internally with yourself. You are not at peace at yourself. Because if you and you lack interpersonal skills. You do.
Yeah.
And that's something that not everybody in the army is taught. You can't teach interpersonal skills too much, you know? So when people are like that, there's something internally with themselves. There's some aspect of their life, whether it's at home, with their job, their career, or past trauma, that's allowing them to get to that point. You get what I'm saying? And
Oh, yeah.
some aspect of their life is messed up and they don't know how to approach that. So the only way is to feel like they're in power by coming off with their energy that they're coming off at you. And once I learned that, it gave me peace. You get what I'm saying? Like it taught me to not take it personal. Don't get it twisted. I'll put you in your place. I'll let you know, but I wouldn't let it dwell on me too much. Like, oh, this person's doing this or this person's doing that. No, you're not happy with yourself. And
Yeah.
soon enough, you can keep on yelling, but like you're just talking to a wall. You're gonna get tired, you know?
It's a delicate balance, but it needs done. What
Yes.
you get done there, where do you head to next after the trail?
I ended up coming to Eglin Air Force Base actually.
Nice. Which is,
Yes.
those that don't know, that's a dream base for a lot of people because it's down in
Yeah,
Florida.
yeah.
It's a nice scenery and stuff. Um, how was that interaction going down there? Because that's a big jump, obviously, like we talked about, from trade-out lifestyle as a drill to back to your regular role that you haven't done in 3 years.
So it was different because that is a TRADOC unit and there is drill sergeants there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it was different. Their lifestyle was different. There was actually some very hardworking drill sergeants in that unit that I think would have excelled well in a basic training environment rather than being there. You get what I'm saying?
Hmm.
They themselves were probably frustrated with it sometimes because when you're that NCO that's hungry, you don't want to be somewhere where you feel like, you're not serving too much. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's
They
a
did their
long
thing.
school too, right? The classes are like a year long, and they're getting them at like the 3 month mark, I think, or
Yeah,
something.
and by that time they're already in for so long. Like,
Right.
it's a difficult situation to be in, and I think the culture too, it's different. So to go from their culture to then like EOD, they do a lot. Like respect to
Mm.
them,
Oh yeah.
It's the same thing like Seaburn. Seaburn does a lot, and I think the culture, right, the environment, you know, going from being an EOD tech is kind of like leaving Afghanistan and coming back to Garrison. It's like, and then you come to TRADOC and you're getting used to POI, and this is the way. It can be frustrating and it can be consuming. It can be new. It can be uncomfortable, and But I think that my knowledge, like as a drill sergeant, kind of helped, but then it didn't because it was so different that I'd be like, why,
Yeah.
Um, but it was cool. It was cool. IPSE came in.
Oh
Fuck
yeah. Oh,
IPSE, dude. Yeah, that wasn't that fun.
it's like your
And it
entire
is what
job
it
just
is.
got turned on
Huh?
its head. Your entire job just got turned on its head.
I just had to try to adapt. Like I was like every single day, dude. Like it was something else. But I realized my time had came up.
Yeah,
Bottom of the line up front. That's just what it was. My time was done. And I was ready to move on to another chapter, if that makes sense.
absolutely. We've talked
Yeah.
about this before. I'm going through a similar experience right now, and when you're done, you're done. Like,
Yeah.
and I get a little frustrated with everyone that tells you to stay in, and they have their own set of issues, and you're like, well, you cannot be preaching this when life isn't so perfect here, and I have a plan. If you don't have a plan, that's different. Like, I get that with young privates that are very confused with life, and they just don't like being bossed around.
Right.
Sure, that's how you feel, whatever. But mid-careerists that are like, I am tired of this. I want something different from my life. I'm going to go do this. And then there's a little pushback that always frustrates me a little bit. Did you experience that, or was it a smooth transition?
Yes and no. Like I had some people ask me, like, what are you gonna do next? Or what are you gonna this? And not everybody knows what they're gonna do next because you're you're nervous. Like people forget. I remember one time I learned to be gentle with myself when I was going through my transition process was when one of the guys at MPD told me, "You've never gotten out the army before. Chill." And I was just like, okay, that makes sense because it is a scary transition. I had some people tell me, oh, like, are you sure? Because I had made Sergeant First Class, and
Right.
maybe you can PCS here, maybe you can do this, and think mentally and just physically too. I was just, I was done. I was done. Yeah, it was done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, what, man, that brings up a lot of emotion. You get out. Where do you go from there? This is like 6 to 8 months ago or so. You finally got
Yeah.
out or so.
Yep.
So what's
I'm still here. I'm still here right now.
Mhm.
Living near Destin. I don't want to say my exact location because it's going on the internet. People are weird.
Yes.
Uh, but yeah, I'm still here. I'm still here. Like I had a house here, so it was one of those things where just waiting for the market and the economy to get fixed up, and so I can go go on about my day. But
Yeah.
hopefully the video doesn't get banned for me saying some stuff like that. But yeah, so I'm just going on about my day and focusing on school and my music now.
Yeah,
Uh,
tell me about your music a little bit. You kind of you did it before. I knew that
yes.
you were well while we were drills. I knew your music was coming out, but then now you're really diving into like the whole thing. Tell me about that.
It feels different. Like it's so weird because remember I stopped when I was like 18, you
Right.
know? So music industry is a whole different thing now. It's like you and I were talking about how social media before we started this call. It's a lot because you're making content. I get to do that now though. Like I see it as a good thing. It's like remember I used to walk around my camera when I was on the trail too.
Mhm.
Like I did a lot of that. So a lot of that translated into what I do now for my music. Um and it's nice. It's like my creativity is expanding a lot more. I'm pushing up my content because you have to as an artist. If pushing out a song in today's day and age, I mean, even people signed to the biggest major record labels. Morgan Wallen is out here putting out previews of his song. You have to.
He just has
Uh,
people doing it for him. You're the one actually pushing everything, and it's like a
yes,
whole nother job. I get
it
it.
is. It can be very time consuming. But what I'm finding is working for me now is like setting a day aside for it. Just one day, every 2 weeks or every week, and then setting another day for editing that content. That's my sole purpose. That what I'm doing. I think what's helped me with the military is schedule and structure. It's
Yes.
like at this time I'm doing this, at this time I'm doing this, on this day I'm releasing this, and literally just having a plan for everything, a calendar. Um, at first getting out, it's weird because you're trying to connect to people. I'm still going through that. Connecting with people that understand like your drive and I guess like where your mind works, because I'm talking to you and this is so refreshing because it's familiar. It's like it's nice. It's nice being able to have that conversation with somebody that gets it, that understands where my mind is headed, my mindset, where it's coming from and the deeper meaning behind it, right? But not everybody understands that. And especially even in school sometimes it's like you're with younger
Yeah,
people
very
than
younger
you.
crowd. Yeah.
Yeah, it's different. So um
Well, and
but
me
yeah,
and
I'm
you are
just
almost to that age where you go, they don't get it. They don't
yeah.
get it. And you don't want to be that grumpy older person. You want to have understanding, but at certain points, you're like,
You just don't talk about it. You hold it
yes,
in.
yes.
You don't talk about it. You just like, and we're not talking about anything deployment related or anything. It's
No, 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 no,
just,
no, nothing
yeah,
like that. It's a different feeling that I can't. Like you
explain.
said, we have a mutual understanding of that mystical feeling that I can't describe, but you know it.
Yes. So definitely that. But I think another thing is too, is when you get out, you're like, oh, I can do that now, you know? And we're not talking about weed and all this other crazy stuff that people do, but like you can build your life again.
Mhm.
You can build the life that you wanted before the military. I think a lot of people have something deep within them that some people actually joined and all they wanted to do was the army, or the Marine Corps, the Air Force, whatever branch they wanted to pursue in, right? But somebody always like had something that they really enjoyed: sports,
Of course.
lawn care, pets, veterinarian, something with your inner child, right? That you didn't think about in the military because you didn't have time for that, you know? But now that I'm out, it's like I'm investing my time into my music and my content and doing those things that I want to do because I can now, And I think if I had to give any advice to anybody that is getting out right now is aside from transitioning and getting your finances aligned and getting everything aligned, set a foundation for what made you happy before this. Like do some journaling, do some soul searching, do some digging and like hold on, like, what do I like? Because you don't think about that while you're in. It's like, you don't. What do I like to do? What sets my soul on fire? Like, if you're married, um, what would I like to do with my spouse that I didn't get to do while I was in? Like me, I'm going to New York City towards the end of the month for my birthday. And I looked at a picture and I realized I didn't even notice it. It's been 11 years since my family sang happy birthday to me, or that I spent a birthday with my mom. So, and I still have the picture of the moment. So it's going to be such an emotional moment for me to be next to my mom saying happy birthday. Cause it's like, you don't realize your job in the military is a lot. Like anything can happen in such a span of a decade. And the blessing that you get to be able to have these moments with your family once you're out and do the things that you've been wanting to do or putting off because you're just desensitized, it's moving, it's emotional. Definitely is.
That's awesome though that you're getting to experience that finally. Like you're getting to that point where you get to go back and do that stuff again and make it a little better for yourself.
Yeah.
Uh,
I miss it sometimes. Don't get it twisted. I miss my camaraderie, the friends, the memories.
no, everybody misses it, whether they want to admit it or
Yeah.
not. Unless you had a traumatic event, you probably miss a little bit of it. There's a
Yeah.
camaraderie that cannot be restructured unless you're maybe like law enforcement, firefighters, like EMS. I get they have something, but the military, it's something way different. Like it's a
Yep.
very Beautiful thing. What do you got with your? Let's talk about your music though. I want to
Yeah.
get it. KLZ, right? It's out on Spotify. It's on all the sites. It's there and stuff. It's awesome. How would you describe your music? Because I have an idea in my mind, but I want to hear what you say about it.
You know, with my music, I like to try anything out right now. You know, I like people to listen to my music. A lot about my music is some of it is everything I've been through.
Mm-hmm.
Um, some of it I want people to listen to and they're dancing to it. All right, cool. Like they're vibing to it and it like makes their day. You know how you have a song that you took a shower after PT, your hair is popping, you smell good, your uniform's pressed, like, and then you just go play that song and it just
Yeah.
gets you in the mood for the day.
Oh yeah.
Like some of my songs are like that. Then you got other songs that they really get deep, but they also get you moving too. You know, it's like I have reggaeton, merengue, bachata, salsa. I'm releasing my first song in English finally for everybody who does not understand me within 2 weeks. So I got y'all. Don't worry.
Yeah.
And it actually it's a funny story how the song came about. So you guys see like TikTok live, right? How
Yeah.
everybody's like, "Oh, send me all the roses," and like you got people that stick on these lives for like 30 minutes just sending roses and like behind the screen texting, which is cool. Like that they're a fan of that person, right? So I wrote something about that. Um, it's interesting. It's got a little bit of a 2000s vibe to it. It's different. It's definitely different. I'm excited for people to hear it. Got a little bit of laughter. You've seen my joke inside as well when I lose
Yeah.
my mind. It's like I've been up for 13 hours. So
Yes.
yeah, so it's got to make sure that it's definitely me. I think right now where I'm going back to though is me, my New York roots, my Puerto Rican roots, who Kaylee is, because while I was in making music, I didn't get to do that. I think I was singing more and writing more about the experiences I was going through, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and personal stuff that I went through back then and going from there. And also finding myself again as an artist because people don't talk about that. It's hard, you know?
I'm sure you got to find that rhythm of what you consider yourself to be, what you're going for and stuff.
Yeah.
That has to be what you feel authentically, or it's not going to work. Just isn't.
Most definitely. And I think that's what I'm trying to push out now is like it's like Russ. And you know who Russ is?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. He says it. It's like I just push out my music. If I like it, I'll push it out. But if at the end of the day, the people pick your song. You don't.
For sure.
And that's just what it is, right? And I've been living by that. I've been studying him a lot. Like I have both his books. He has great books. It isn't just for somebody that's like making music. It's for anybody that's trying to pursue anything in life and you're like doubting yourself. So good. Definitely look at Russ's books because I'm trying to remember my mind is rolling right now, so I'm trying to remember the actual title. I
Yeah.
have it on my bedside. But yeah, I think that's where mine's like if I like it, I put it out. I stop overthinking now.
Yeah.
Before when I started back in 2021, I was scared of people telling me that's cringe. I was a drill sergeant.
Yeah. You don't want that with you.
Yeah, I was a drill sergeant. I mean, I had one of the soldiers come up to me one time and I lost my medulla when I was there. You know, coming up to me like, I heard your song and I just like, I lost it, you know, like, no, you didn't. Like, you know, people don't realize that balance also while you're in. I hate to revert back to the trail is that balance between your personal life, trying to live your life. Social media is a big thing, and these guys will find you
Yes.
and how you can't even like live your life like a normal person for those 2 years because somebody's gonna find something out and you're not trying to have your personal life involved at work. You know,
100%.
once yes, you're being transparent, but there should be a strong separation with that, especially with soldiers, you know?
I real quick on that with the pushing out stuff that you find honest. There's an artist named Sturgill Simpson. He
Okay.
he made an album and he did 3 different versions of the album. One was bluegrass, one was traditional country, and one was slower modern meta classic rock vibes to it.
Okay.
Same songs, just different like compilations to it. And now he just made an album with a whole different name, called himself Johnny Blue Skies. It was great, and then he's like going back to the regular one. The point being, all of them were amazing, but he didn't push them like through an industry or anything. He just said, "Here's my music, guys. If you like it, that's on y'all." And he's in quotes of interviews. He's like, "I just like to make music. Like that's what I like to do." And I think that's the
Hmm.
heart of it. Like real artists, you can tell, like if they're not churning out like not hit after hit, but like it's the same bullshit over and over. That's not what you want. What you want is them telling their story or what they're getting after. You want to hear that, and that's good to
Yep.
hear. That's what you're
Yep.
working for. Yeah.
Yep. And
Um.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Are you
Big
working
time.
with a producer or anything, or is a lot of it
Yes,
by
I have my
yourself?
producer. His name is, you guys can find him tagged on every single video of mine. His name is Cristiano Beats. He's in Dominican Republic. So what I do is I record all my vocals here in the studio. I'll write all my songs. Some of the songs I'll write on FaceTime with him. Like I'll just like need that collaboration. Like people don't realize like having two minds in a room, it just expands the creativity. So we've done that before. But he produces all my beats. Um, we're trying to like try mess around with different like sounds and stuff like that. Because the thing is, with my industry is, and what I'm noticing with a lot of artists right now is that they're trying. It's good to have role models. It's good to have role models, but it's not, be authentic, And I think that's where I am right now, is finding a different sound with myself. Like, yeah, still keeping the essence of reggaeton and salsa, and merengue and bachata, but that's what we're looking for right now. And slowly but surely it's getting there. I'm having faith in that. Um, and that's where we're going with that. And right now trying to push my music out without a label, because the thing is, you can make it without a label right now. You
Yes.
know, you run your music. I just got off the call with with my mentor, and his name is Crackalak. He's well known on social media, 90K followers. He does everything, content marketing, music, was an artist before too. And we talk about how you're basically running your music as if you were running a business, running ads on it. And it's the same thing for you as somebody that's running a podcast,
Mm-hmm.
running ads on it, um, running automations. It's a whole different level of marketing. And if you're doing that at that point and you're pushing it so far, you're promoting your own music, you're keeping track of your streams, you're keeping track of your revenue. I mean, what else do you need? Like
Yeah.
it sucks. It sucks for the labels too sometimes, because in this day and age, like how do you make money now? Because people are doing it on their own. People like Russ are doing it on their own. There's Snow the Product. I don't know if you heard of her either.
Mhm.
Snow the Product is top tier, right?
Yeah.
She's independent. She's making everything on her own. Her brother runs her stuff. She's got a podcast. She's got merch. She's got everything. When you're doing it on your own and you're building your empire your own, what do I need that for? Especially if she's got the connections already that she needs to make to do her shows, do this, do that. A record label started with one person getting all those connections and then building that up the same way you're doing with yourself.
Yeah. It's over. The market is oversaturated at this point, so you have to find
Hmm.
new ways to get after it, and that's what you're
Hmm.
doing. You know, where do where do you see yourself going from here? Like, uh, are you working on music right now? Do you see yourself coming out with stuff, and where do you see yourself going? Because obviously you're going that independent route. You're pushing your stuff your own way. Where do you want to see yourself?
I see myself independently, you know, just growing and building an empire with my own music. Um, I see myself pushing out the best version of me, when it comes to my music. Um, Releasing a song every 2 weeks, for people to listen to me more, because that's one thing I would release while I was in the military, I would release one song and then I'd release a song for a couple months. And I think I owe it to the public, that consistency. Like, I owe it to the people, that consistency of just releasing different music and different music for people to hear. So I have that. I film all my music videos. So like I want to start pushing out more music videos. I see myself, if you had to ask me, maybe about in 2 years, I'll have at least 100 songs out, music videos, platforms are well known, and people are gonna know who I am. That's my vision right now is 100 songs out. I plan on like having my merch as well, pushed out as well, with a meaning behind it too. Like that's what I'm working on, something with meaning, because I don't want just merch. You're just wearing my name and that's it. I want people to be able to connect to that. Um, and then in my 5 year mark, I have a vision where I want to be able to, all this knowledge that I have, extend that over to other artists as well, that they have no clue what they're doing. They have no clue even how to like film a music video or how to go about it. I think a lot of people are stuck on, I don't have this equipment, I don't have that, I don't have and that's a lot about what I put out in my content lately. I don't know if you've been watching it.
Yeah.
Is there's always a way, right?
Yes.
Like you have things like BandLab, you have your cell phone, you have CapCut. It might not be perfect, but you're getting the content out there. And one thing about that is your fan base is going to see your process. Have you heard of Dochi?
Yeah.
Dochi's a prime example of that. The day she got fired and laid off from her job, she went on YouTube and she made a video and she was being transparent, right?
Yeah.
She said, fuck it, what do I got to lose? The girl just got a Grammy. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, just start is what I want people to know, and
Yes.
see that I'm embodying that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think 2 points of that. The number one is just start. It's the same on my end. Okay. You may think you don't have it, or you got to do something, or you don't have a better plan. Getting off the ground is half the battle.
Yep.
And then, like you said, what she just described with these year marks, 5 year marks, some people may roll their eyes or whatever. No, that's setting goals for yourself that you want to achieve, get close to, or whatever. Like that's your goals and that's what you aim for. And that's what pushes you to get better. Like that's why you're publishing more content. That's why you're working on your music. That is the key. And I can tell from this, you're going to be successful in that.
Appreciate you. We'll look back at this in like 2 years. You'll be like, yo, I gave her a podcast. I gave her an opportunity on the podcast with me, and I did it first. Like I'm the real one.
The opportunity was all freaking mine.
Oh no, get out of here.
No. Okay. We heard about a lot of it. We hear what's coming. It pumps me up, and I know the crowd's gonna love it. Before we go, just give a rundown. Where can we find your stuff at, and where can we find you at?
All right, you can find me on Spotify as KAYLZ, like just like that in that sign, KAYLZ. And on all my social media platforms, it's The Real. So just The Real KLZ. And you can find me on all social media platforms, YouTube, Instagram, Spotify, you name it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, Facebook as well.
Awesome.
And whatnot. So all uniformed.
Yes. Thank you so much for your time. And I hope you had a good time as well. It was great.
Oh, it was a blessing. It was good.
Guys, be sure to check her stuff out. I'll have the links in the description below. Thank you for turning into another episode, and we'll see you next time.